This is the fridge freezer. We're all now very familiar with this energy label, which you see on all white and electrical goods. The important thing about this label was that if you go into most shops in the UK now, it's very, very hard to actually buy a fridge or a freezer which is below light green. That's not because of green consumerism, that is because of retailers like Comets and John Lewis have chosen not to stock anything in the yellow or red. And that's why we on the Commission invented this phrase called choice editing. And we see this as a very powerful form of retail policy, where retailers choose to only offer customers green products. This label has been so successful, it's now in China. What we recommended in an earlier piece of work was that label has been so successful, we should use it for cars. So now when you go into a car showroom, you actually see that label on cars. Because cars are more emotive, it's harder to choice edit cars in the showroom, but you can use other policy mechanisms such as road tax banding, parking fees like Richmond, and the congestion charge to all penalise customers who are buying products, cars, in the red zones and give rewards to customers in the green zone. And we've already seen that these sorts of initiatives, plus the overwhelming public opinion, is actually changing the sales of polluting cars. Shopping can be a lot greener than it used to be. Don't expect the customer to drive the agenda. The retailers or public policy needs to drive the agenda. We also need to get smarter at working out what the real issue is. If this pot of honey could talk, you might say it's got a very proud story to tell because it's fair trade and also it's organic. But it's also come from Zambia. And there's a lot of people out there who should say you should only buy food grown in the UK if it's possible to grow that food in the UK. And you can certainly grow honey in the UK. And so we're now getting to a stage where we have to work out what matters more, supporting local farmers or supporting fair trade in Zambia. And we need to start answering these questions. That's where the debate has got. And so what I now say, and when you look at the product story, you've got to say, does that product make a substantial contribution towards resolving poverty, or does it make it worse? Climate change, and the one planet economy. And what we've got to start doing is looking at products through the lens of these three big issues and working out what is the best solution, what's the best contribution each individual product can make.